properly, and then as I do. Okay, so here we go. This is the Jaffna Club meeting, 25th of September 2022, and it's our second birthday, second birth month. Our first meeting was on Sunday, the 27th of September 2020. So this is 2 years of the month that we've been operating. Every single month we've had speakers. And just for the benefit of those who haven't participated or watched the recording, our objective, the club will facilitate, foster and support social intercourse and fellowship among its members. It will build a network of members and non-members that can work together to promote the economic development of the Northern Province. So today, welcome address from me, so you just had it. And then Miller Alexander, who's the Chief Operating Officer of SenzMate, and will tell you about his company and also some other stories about I've asked him to cover in the north. And then I will speak a bit about some Jaffna Club business. So since the club is a catalyst. So when I say that, the purpose of the club is not to build an empire, not to expand into other businesses or set up organizations. We're a catalyst. We help other people do those things. So we help people like us connect with Northern entrepreneurs and business opportunities. And we have had some success linking our members with each other and with outsiders. So since September 2020, we've had 29 speakers, 29 different speakers. 2 of the speakers have spoken twice, but 29 unique speakers. And I just scroll through here so people can see. We've had CEOs, owners of businesses. We've had young entrepreneurs from just about, well, from very many different sectors, from IT to agriculture, tourism. We've had people involved in value addition on food, exporting food around the world. Jeevan Thiagaraja, Governor, spoke to us a few months ago. Thielen does a value-added business, value-added to milk in Mullativu. We had Professor Surendra Kumar, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine at Jaffna University, talking about health tourism, which is an interesting opportunity for us. So today's speaker, Miller, if you want to take over the screen, please go ahead.
Thank you. Hi everyone, pleasure to meet you all. Thank you, Jahan, for arranging this. So can I continue, Jahan? Let me know whenever.
Yes, you're now in control, so please go ahead.
So great pleasure to meet you all. And Jahan, it would be really great if you can allow me to share the screen so I can share my presentation.
So you should be able, can you not share it?
No, I can't. I'm not a co-host.
Sharing. Oh, you can share. Okay, got it. Okay, you should be able to share now.
Okay, give me a sec. Let me check. Not yet. Host disable participant screen sharing.
You can share all participants. Yeah, when someone else is sharing. Okay, try again now.
Okay. So it will stop your screen and start with mine. So that's what happens. All right. Hope everyone can see the screen.
Yes. Yep.
Right. So great pleasure to meet ladies and gentlemen, and good morning and good evening from respective geographies. I'm Miller, co-founder and COO of SenzMate IoT Intelligence, and CEO of one of our spin-off venture, Sense Agro. You can see in my screen. It's my great pleasure to introduce and showcase what we have gone through at the moment, like our journey in terms of entrepreneurship, which start from Jaffna and how we expanded globally, and the story how SenzMate expanding its product lines globally, and how we expanding our team. So SenzMate, basically a AIoT intelligence company. So our specialization is AI combining with IoT intelligence. We are an end-to-end development facility. We are one of the first Sri Lankan companies to build our own hardware. So we manufacture own sensor nodes and sensor communication hardware and embedded AI into it. So on that procedure, we are the first IoT company who started to manufacture from Sri Lanka and go global. So AIoT, it's a new world trend. So you probably heard about IoT, which is wristband, your connected Bluetooth devices, any object which connected to internet, which is IoT, Internet of Things. And AI, obviously artificial intelligence, which is trained by existing patterns, modulars, and data. So we are an IoT company for last 7 years, since 2015. So we have huge amount of data access from various part of the world and from different verticals, which allow us to build a complete AI engine on top of it by utilizing the data and building upscaling our existing product lines with more intelligence and predictions. So this technology term called AIoT going to be expand with the 5G and big data expansions in the current trend, and the most fast growing tech industry in the world at the moment, not AI, not IoT, it's combination of AIoT. So this human and machine interaction make our company specific and focused on very trendy technology, and we leading the Sri Lankan market from this. So you can see in the right side, we have client base from different verticals, from health tech, telecommunication, food processing and food companies like Dole, you can identify PepsiCo, from companies like retail chains and so on, and renewable energy company, a vast different sector of areas, because there is no specific solution. It's a complete concept we are working on called AI and IoT. So we were globally recognized for our services, and the way we working on make sure it's affordable and it's accepted by a developing country like Sri Lanka. So it's definitely acceptable in a more mature market because it's affordable, at the same time it solves a purpose. So to give you a small idea about our company, so we started our journey in 2013 in under YAL IT Hub. It's a accelerated program based out of Jaffna. So the vision is very simple, but it's very catchy. So just straight after the war, we want to build the entire country from nothing, from ash. So the vision for YAL IT Hub was very big, building the second Silicon Valley from Jaffna. So that's inspired a lot because I'm a computer science graduate from Jaffna University. So the time I get entered to the university was 2010, just after the war, and YAL IT Hub initiated on the same time period. So I was a volunteer for YAL IT Hub for a very long time, and I met my partners there, my co-founders Jay and John. Those guys are electronic engineers from Moroto University, Hartley College boys, and we compete each other from Jaffna University and these guys from Moroto University. So end of our graduation, we thought we supposed to kick off something together, and we were the first crowd-funded company in the country because we solved some interesting, important problem we all had. In 2013, where the entire northern province has landmines and various dangerous aspects in the nighttime going to your field, because we had very few hours of electricity in the fields where the farmers supposed to go to the farm and switch on their irrigations for motors and so on. So we provide a small technology, an IoT-based gadget, where you can send an SMS and it will automate the irrigation pumps. That's it. So you don't want to go to the field. You don't want to worry about landmines or dangerous snakes or anything. That's it. People liked it. So for a small SMS application, if you technically see, this is just putting a switch and we replace that switch with an SMS. That's all we did. And in 2014, around 26 people liked this project, and we kind of crowdfunded by our ITF community itself. It's a diaspora and local individuals who are inspired by the story and they invest on us. And from that point, we kick off SenzMate IoT Intelligence. And within 6 months, we bankrupted because we are so too much engineers. We have built our technologies to the core. It was very strong. And the first PCB and hardware built in Canada for $600. So the same technology at the moment, we build very efficient technology in a smaller scale for $30. So that's the growth we had, and in terms of a journey perspective. But a $600 technology, 1,000 rupees per month as a subscription for a SMS app, that's all a farmer can afford. And we just failed within 6 months. Then only we realized we need more aspect than an engineer. So we started to learn about other aspect of entrepreneurship, because we always say we are trained and taught entrepreneurs, not a born entrepreneurs. We got all the missing pieces from the IT Hub. We got plenty of help on that, and that ecosystem is very vibrant at the moment. I love to explain more about the IT and the Jaffna agriculture, technology ecosystem at the moment in later stages. From that point, dating back 2022 at this point, after 7 years, from a failure company, first hardware tech company, no investors interested on investing on a hardware company at all. And somehow we managed to survive and make profit out of it. And now we are an 88 engineers team at the moment. So 100% harnessing our technologies from local talents. We have over 60 engineers from Jaffna and around 20 from Northern Province. Around 90% of our technology base and engineers team from Northern Province alone. And we're known to be a North company, but it allow us like pros and cons in the agriculture, in the Sri Lankan domain. But we are pioneers, and we make sure we are monopolizing that domain, IoT domain, as a strong leader on this market in Sri Lanka. So that allow us to expand globally. Currently, SenzMate operating in 14 countries. Operation in the sense our services has footprint in 14 countries around the world. And physically, we have 4 different branches, one in UK, one in Delaware, USA, and very Queensland for the agriculture component. Sri Lanka, Colombo, one in Jaffna. Colombo is mostly on the hardware and the AI development. Jaffna is pretty much our software development and machine learning part of it happens. At a point of time, we working with like 50 different products. We are a product plus IoT, AI, IoT service company. So we at a point like 50 different projects working through our development facility. Won plenty of international awards from Sri Lanka, Netherlands, Finland, and India, and various parts of the world for the Sustainability Act, what we are working on the technology. So going deep into the technological aspect, so we are pretty much like an umbrella corporation, SenzMate, which become like a IoT hub where we starting spin-off ventures on top of it. So whenever we see a potential for a growth in a particular vertical, we started to diversify that into a separate company with separate director board and team which is working on to it. So currently we have officially created 3 companies on different verticals. So SenzMate is the core entity which is currently working on the entire IoT and AI spectrum. SenzAgro, which is 100% focusing on agriculture technology alone. Sri Lanka's largest conglomerate, John Keells Holdings, is our first investors for this company, for SenzAgro alone. And we raised our second round of investment from the well-known Jaffna boy, Bernard Chinaya, the former Citibank managing director. So he was our private equity investor on second round. Similarly, we have another company called Mosurance, which is focusing on insurance technology. I will explain later on. Beyond that, we own an IoT platform, a platform which can integrate hardware into a server. So that's SenzMate is all about, SenzMatica. On top of SenzMatica, we can build any sector-specific intelligence, because if you take IoT, it's just connecting objects into internet, retrieving information from it, and make use that information for business development or business predictions and making smart decisions out of it. Just like Mr. Sakti explained before, we collect information from sensors. That information can be used for various aspects, which as an evidence, or it can be shown as a predictive data source where you can utilize that. So there's no restriction in terms of vertical. We're working with medical technology, fleet tech, agri-tech, sports tech, even the Olympians from UK using our sports technologies, logistic, warehouse technologies, and various wearable devices, renewable energy, you name it. Any mainstream industry can be applicable, and we're already working at least 1 or 2 product lines or services working on that sector. So I will explain one by one the major product lines of SenzMate Group. So I'm saying as a group because we have separate spin-off ventures. So SenzAgro, one of the spin-off venture from SenzMate, which is 100% focusing on smallholder agriculture ecosystem. We collect information from sensors regarding the land and the plants and the farmers. So all those information compile to business intelligence and crop intelligence, which allow the farmer to make perfect, smart decisions. Because if you, in a global perspective, people wrongly considered smart farmers mean people who use satellites, or smart farmers mean who use smartphone for their agriculture practices, or drone technology, robots on farming. Not like that. Actually, smart farmers mean a farmer make around 64 decisions from the seed selection to up to the farm first gate. And the farmer who making smart, perfect, evidence-based decisions on the 64 decision making, and the majority are smart decisions, the right decision, then he is a smart farmer. So all the technologies allowing them to make the right decisions. That's what we also do. We are one of the early movers to this smallholder market agriculture technologies, because it was there in US, Netherlands, and Israel for a long time. But for smallholder who own less than 5 acres of land space, or 2,000 square feet or less amount of greenhouses. So for that technology, affordability and localization, it's our core. So we're working with various amount of crop varieties in Sri Lanka and globally. And we are the first agri-tech company from Sri Lanka to expand globally. Our product line currently working in Japan, UAE, Ecuador, Saskatchewan, Canada, Queensland, Australia, and various parts of this world from our sensors connecting the farms and farmers. In Sri Lanka alone, we have 6,000 plus smallholder farmers utilizing smart technologies from us, from automations, weather stations, soil sensors, smartphone applications, and various things. So you can see some pictures. You can see in the bottom an Australian farmer having a sensor node from SenzAgro. Same thing, a farmer from Mayangana, Sri Lanka, a rural part of the Sri Lanka, and they use the exact same technology. So it's localized to the core, but the technology is same. So we make sure Sri Lankan farmers can afford, accommodate, and accept technology, which is globally known. So this makes us one of the pioneers in agtech, especially in the South Asia region as well. So beyond that, we're working with multiple different verticals of medtech. Post-COVID or during the pandemic, medtech is the fastest compound rate annual growth rate industry in the world. People who are allowed to work on medical technology and try to prove some solving, because special things, doctors can't meet the patients and they're all sitting on one place. Reaching an health facility, it's almost impossible during the lockdown period. Whenever you go to the hospital, you become a COVID patient. So no one wants that to be happen. So technology like IoT make your entire body report, whatever your doctor want to do, the sensors will detect and make this connection possible. And that industry continues to grow very, very fast. So we plant sensors, not plant like wearable devices, sensors on your limbs, joints, and your elbow movements to understand, especially for Parkinson's disease. If you are doing wrong postures, wrong practices, through Zoom calls, doctors try to give you instructions. And our patients wearing our joint sensors and through a mobile application, they do some activities, small exercises or walking 10 feet. We can, with 90% accuracy, we can identify your improvements for Parkinson disease and stroke. So that made a huge change. Large tech, health tech companies collaborate with us on that product, which is commercially available at the moment. Similarly, we're working with a mobile app company which working on posture recognition for yoga practices. So the same thing you see on this picture video, basically, which understand your postures, and it already have a data set which talk about your right postures, whether you do it wrong, and it's completely detect through your sensors which placed on your elbows and your motion capturing through mobile technology and AI. So which computer vision gives a perfect instruction how to do things properly and what are the mistakes you make. So this is applicable for various amount of human interactions and human body actions and wrong postures in sports, health, and physical health related environments. So that made us taken to UK and various part of the world during the pandemic. And this is one of our early product called SenzMate Polar. We plan to make this as a spin-off venture very, very soon. Almost all the blue chip companies in Sri Lanka using our technology, including Sri Lankan Airlines, Sri Lankan Narcotics Department, and NMRA, Sri Lankan Medical Regulation Authority. And we won the Commonwealth Digital Health Award, competing with 117 countries, and we become the runners-up for 2018. And this product basically makes sure your pharmaceutical items, vaccinations, blood, insulin, your any lab conditions on the medical environment, even narcotics departments, dangerous drugs, or food security, especially on food wastage measurements, understanding the storage facilities, transportation of perishables, dairy, meat. So any environment which is sensitive for temperature, humidity, and light, and various other vibrations or something, we measure those informations through sensors, especially in food sector, supply chain sector, pharmaceutical sector. We measure all those information and give a real-time transparency in terms of preventive maintenance, in terms of regulation keeping with all the documentation, and giving real-time alerts for the people who are responsible to make actions immediately. So that allow us to put more than 5,000 nodes around the world with this product working in 11 countries around the world, including especially in Australia and US and Canada. So that made us a growth, especially in the food sector and pharmaceutical sector. If you are taking Sri Lankan Airlines for your trip, you can definitely tasting a food which is come across one of our sensors monitoring that facility, because the entire cold rooms and the perishable storages of Sri Lankan Airlines monitored through us. At the same time, the same product line which Mr. Satya explained, the factory spy, basically as for the name, we monitor the factory floor or industrial IoT. We connect machineries and we observe its performance and make sure this is maintained on the right conditions, preventive maintenance, and make sure all the machinery is working on the right performance, base stage measurements, and so on. So this industrial IoT allow us to connect with various number of different machineries, from printing industry to tea manufacturing industry, garment industry, and so on. And renewable energy is one of our biggest success story at the moment. As we started in 2017, this product started from renewable energy, and we have 22 plantations of solar energy producers working with this product. We connect each and every inverter, and we understand and compare different energy productions, preventive maintenance. We send the people on right time, generating alerts and reports, huge amount of business intelligence and predictions on preventive mechanisms. And Factory Spy, currently operating in Sri Lanka alone, but we have connected more than 30 different companies using this product line. So this is Mosurance, one of our core product line. So this is a combination and a collaboration with Mr. Jeevan Yanam, so Sachs Global, St. Anthony's Global's partnership. So this is a separate spin-off venture. This product basically working on insurance technology and logistic and fleet environment. We have our own OBD devices. That means small scanners for your vehicle, which understand your driver behavior analysis, nothing to tap from your vehicle. We don't mess up with your dashboard. That's one of our uniqueness. Most of the devices which collect information from the dashboard, we collect all the information from sensors. That's what our specialization. And taking machine learning pattern and data science and artificial intelligence, we calculate a proper mechanism to understand your driver behavior. So this driver behavior score will give you a perfect insight about your safety of your drivers. So especially for fleet companies and insurance providers, this is a perfect solution. We're working with FairFirst Insurance in Sri Lanka. It's a one insurance provider, but it's a combination of two insurance companies in Sri Lanka, like Union Assurance and Alliance Insurance. So a large set of 2,500 vehicles currently operating on our platform. We are the first usage-based insurance company and make sure that's applied on the country at the moment. So similar, this is also part of that insurance product. It's very similar. You take a picture which gives you evaluation directly, and you can fix your problems. And we detect two things. The impact will be measured by us. So the location where it was impact happened, and understand whether it's a normal impact or it's a fraudulent impact to get the insurance premium. All those things will be detected. And the impact evaluation also happens on point without waiting for someone to be present on the ground. So this is very interesting. It's a useful product for US at the moment. In US, couple of Sri Lankan engineers who worked at Apple, and they were architects, and they are the first people in the world to put a complete full-length movie into mobile platform. So they remove all the stretch of common video and put it into a mobile. First iPhone movie, Batman vs Superman, was completely compressed by these guys, and they move out of Apple and they start their own company. This company basically got access for thousands of CCTV cameras from public safety environment, especially retail environment, airports, schools, healthcare environments, and so on. This data is used to give a 10-second window to someone understand someone behavior on the crowd. So because in a school, like a 17-year-old take out a gun and shoot his friends. So before things happens and things get out of hand, this gives a 10-second window by evaluating individuals' behavior and their peculiar activities during the public environment. If they have a baseball bat or a gun or a mask, which is different in a bank robbery type of things, everything will be detected. So this is a real-time processing AI. And it's 100% the AI built in-house in Sri Lanka, and we are the people who are building safety for US public safety environments. So this is a product which is happening for the last 2 years, and it will be continuing for a very long time. Thousands of gigabytes of data we are currently working out to train this model to an AI platform. So there are plenty of prototyping. So for healthcare industry, sports tech, med tech, so especially for sports tech, any throwing games, hammer, javelin throw, discus throw, shot put, any throwing games, we understand the momentum, when you have to release, and when you get, what are the wrong practices, what kind of angle mistakes you do, everything will be evaluated. UK Research Institute working with us closely on this for building a technology platform for the Olympians. And that platform was completely prototyped and tested, and AI building happens in Sri Lanka. And this gadget they are using at this moment, it's to understand the injuries. So if you get into an internal fracture or an internal injury or a tissue tear, it's really a small temperature change. We understand this small, minute temperature changes and accurately predict when you can hit the gym again, or you can start your practice again, when the recovery, what kind of rate the recovery happens. All those models, theories basically made possible with prototyping with us. So all these services beyond our product line, we're working on a concept called IoT Lab. So we have one of the most efficient IoT lab facility in the country with 3D printers to manufacturing, SolidWorks, designing, and everything equipped. We are the largest facility for IoT development in the country compared to any university facility in the country. And with this support, be providing R&D services, ideation to commercialization for any startup who come with an idea or a concept. You want to do it an R&D in cheap manner and affordable manner, and you want to build a commercial product. We give our entire resource facility to do the R&D. We introduce to our manufacturer, which we have 8 years of relationship with in China and India. So through that, they can build their own IP. So currently around 11 companies from UK, Canada, especially from US, build their entire IP through SenzMate, purely on AI. This product, it's during COVID, this is an interesting product from Canada, a company called O-Band, two Sri Lankan gentlemen who build the entire company. This basically understand your hand washing patterns. So this is embedded AI for a wearable device. The wearable unit which he wearing at the moment, it's 100% in-house made, and it's 3D printed. So this device basically talk about for every single doctor, after treating a patient, he need to wash his hand. So this gadget will talk about whether this doctor washes hand properly, because it's already trained with 800 people's training program for WHO standard hand washing patterns. If we conclude the 10 signatures out of that 10, 8 signatures properly done, it will turn green. So the patient in front will know this is a safe doctor to handle with. And those records will be monitored by the healthcare center who working on. So they're now currently promoting the company called oband.co, the website if you want. It's 100% from AI building to hardware, it's built in-house. For an example of the IoT lab for IP building for other startup companies. So we're working on similar environment. So this is our team. So Jay and John, my co-founder, they are the co-brains of this team, and I'm the business guy pretty much. I'm also a computer science major, but switch into business because that's the we have to have when it was a missing piece. But we are supported by a huge number of good well-wishers around the world. So probably you have some known faces here. So they're helping us in terms of identifying different markets, giving introduction for our growth. They play a huge role in our growth throughout this process of 7 years, and make sure the company was survived that crisis, survived a pandemic situation, survive a complete bankruptcy within 6 months, and still grow from 2 engineers to 88 engineers in this time period. At the same time, the community, Jaffna community, and the IoT community supports a lot in terms of do things properly, because it's a volunteer-driven association where it has so many experienced personalities inside. We got access for office hours to talk with people who are gone through the Y Combinator accelerator programs and so on. So for an example, Y Combinator is the accelerator program where it accelerates Airbnb, for an example. So very eminent resources, they're sharing their knowledge with us, for an example. So these connections happening at this moment in Jaffna. After Colombo, the most vibrant entrepreneurial environment is Northern Province. So there are plenty of digital ecosystem development happens in Northern Province. Especially, I'm traveling with ILO, International Trade Union, and because of my agriculture ecosystem and development, majority of the tech-based investments, tech infusion for agriculture and SME development happens in Northern Province for few reasons. One, they are very isolated from the rest of the country. Any exploration can be done without infecting the existing working model to any improvement that can be explored in Northern Province. That's one of the main reasons 5G technology was first of all implemented in North. That has some conspiracies, but it's implemented in North for that kind of purposes. Beyond that, all these digital investments coming from NGOs and government institutions happens on there because the majority of youngsters are tech savvy. Even an old lady from grandmas can make a Skype calls. That's not common throughout Sri Lanka. That's special for Northern Province. So that opportunity allow us to bring a complete digital ecosystem, very tech savvy ecosystem, and huge number of investment already put it in by entrepreneurs. And at the same time, it's recognized, the region recognized as the fastest growing tech environment in the country. I believe definitely that's an opportunity where more tech investments can be bring it in. And I believe it's moving towards that vision what we had when we starting Yalight Hub, making the second Silicon Valley. it's a moonshot, it's a vision, but at least for a mission statement, we can say being one of the leading South Asian ecosystem in a very few time period. Just like Bangalore, the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, we could be the next Bangalore for South Asia and beyond. So that's the vision we are moving towards, and hope you can be part of our mission by helping us and connecting to the global ecosystem, because we are capable of doing Sri Lankan technology to make it global. And I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions if you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Miller. That's an extraordinary story you've told us. Going all the way from your near-death experience after 6 months to the incredible variety of opportunities in the IoT space. And I have a couple of questions myself. I can see Tam in Canada, and I believe that's Vasi, Mr. Android, Blue Droid.
Yeah, that's me, Jagan.
Okay, Tam, if you'll allow, shall we let Vasi go first?
Okay, I have 3 questions. By the way, my name is Tam Sivadasan from Canada. I have electronics engineering background, but I'm in the media now. Yeah, I have 3 questions, 2 on the medical applications, 1 on agro application. The medical application, especially on children autism, like you said, on the safety and security movement kind of locations and follow-up. My daughter, she's just completed a PhD in autism, children's autism. She is using an application. It tracks the movement of eyelids, eye movement. Based on that, they detect early detection of autism setting in under 2 years old kids. So they were able to send them for treatment early in life. So because of that device,
Right.
that uses the cameras to sense their eye movements. Do you have any similar applications, or I can connect you with her in developing new devices or new methods of tracking their eye movement or whatever for diagnostic purposes?
Sure, thank you
That's
so much.
one on the medical application. The second one is, do you want me to go one by one, or you want to
I
answer?
think it would be better so I can explain point by point. Because this current scenario is fantastic, because not in the exact domain, but we have experience on similar ecosystem in different verticals. For an example, we working with human experience and behavior and emotion detections for retail chains. So Sri Lankan ecosystem, we were closely working with Keells, the largest retail chain in the country. So they closely working with us for various inventions. So this is one of the product line they looking forward to work with us. So we measure people's behavior and their experience towards one product. So let's talk about, there are 5 different expressions they're giving, an emotion they're giving towards a product when they taste or smell or something, then the expression changes. So that it's one of the important area we're looking forward to work. The technology you're talking about, it's already applied in different segments, even in Sri Lanka, called fatigue detection. So fatigue detection, basically you are understanding of your eyelid movements, especially you are drunk or you are sleepy during driving. Especially for insurance companies are very much care about these things. So this is already applied. There are plenty of researches happening, and it's not a problem at all in terms of working out of it. So you talk about autism. We have experience working on dementia. So completely the opposite part of the ecosystem. So this is like for the elderly people in UK. Probably Mr. Jahan knows. So Rahul Murthy, he is a very well-known nursing home system developer in UK. So we closely working with him. For dementia patients, they were in a elderly care home, nursing homes. They lost some time. They go out of the fence and they forget where they are coming from, and they fall on a bathroom, but they can't inform to the nurses who are attending. So there are various number of inputs we need to collect without their personal inputs there. So those are some of the areas we're working on. Sensors to understand a person's behavior, cameras to understand a person's emotions and the intellect. So I think this can be applied in some way. We can definitely think about it and get back to you. So I think I can get your contact through Mr. Jehan, so we can continue the conversation on that. Allowed to hear the next question.
Yeah. Well, the next question is also on the medical side. When you have some wearable technology applicable in many different things, do you have any device that can monitor the carbon dioxide versus oxygen content in the lungs? That causes the different ratios, causes different secretion of hormones in the brain. So that sometimes increases the heart rate or decreases the heart rate. So if you have any, I wonder if you have any devices or are you planning to work on any of them?
Actually, Mrs. Novanandan, we are not to plan on work on those type of technology because it's pretty much like ingested technologies we need to work on. The biggest barrier in medical technology, if it's not external, like monitoring through your camera or sensor, which is not inhale or not participate on your body movements, then we don't want to take much research towards the FDA process. So that's impossible to take for a Sri Lankan company, first of all, and it's impossible to take it on a very closer time period. So to avoid this FDA process, we always work on the external technologies. The technically probably it's possible, and we are not in a position or not in a plan to implement anything which is measuring the internal information. It's all about sensors to understand the physiotherapy part of it, or something talk about your behavior or understanding those kind of things. Sports technology, nothing harm about it. It's purely on improving your skill set. So those areas, yes, it's applicable. And it's easy to implement also. It's commercially taken out. You don't need FDA process. We need to work on that gray line to avoid plenty of compliance issues. So technically, maybe yes, if there's a organization which working under the FDA process and compliance and they take care of it, we love to be part of it and we can collaborate with them to support. But being a wise decision, we pretty much avoiding this FDA process as much as possible, Mr. Swami.
So one last question from me. Hope the other participants understand. Yeah, this is on agro. Do you have any applications whereby you use a smartphone to check the nitrogen content from a leaf or any crops or whatever? Yeah.
Yes and no, sir, because nitrogen content, it can be covered in multiple ways. Multispectral, what the camera-based technology can be do. So which collect information from the RGB. So taking about technology, it's collect the leaf color in RGB mechanism, and it's observe how much nutrient deficiency happens for that particular crop. So crop specifically, we need to train. So mobile application is possible. We're working with similar technologies with drones. We measure the natural vegetation index, NDVI, and so on. So there are various parts we're working with images, with mobile also, especially for pest and disease management. Nutrient, it's supposed to be customized for each and every crop because the leaf color is the input. So there are different colors of leaf, different structure of leaf. So probably we will work out on one particular crop variety. If you define it as a scope and there's a project to work out, we can definitely start the exploration because we detect information from 40 times zoom images. Because you probably heard about a person, one of our community member called Shivam Krish. So he's from Australia. So he's working on a project called Go Micro. So that is a microscope which can zoom your images for agriculture purposes, zoom on image with your mobile phone cam, you can put it in and you can take a picture which take 40 times zoom images for fungal and quality checking process. That gives a very clear idea about the leaf exact color textures without errors. And we can do plenty of algorithms to find out the nutrient level accordingly. That's already out there. So I'm not sure without defining the crop, we will developing it at the moment with mobile phone based images. We're working on pest and disease attacks on this.
Thank you very much. I'll leave
Yes.
it. Was
Allowed to support, and I will take your contact from Mr. Jagan. Yes.
okay.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And Vasi, you had your hand
Yeah,
up.
Mr. Miller, very impressive presentation I have seen in the Jaffna Club for many years, Congratulations for what you're doing, and I wish you all the best. First thing is, the president of the Sri Lanka Olympic Committee is my classmate called Suresh Subramaniam.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this video to him to see how you can work with him in regards to sports and also to improve the quality of sports athletes in relation to the technology you're providing. That can be something for you to work around, right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is I will also get through Jagan your contact number to speak about some other things where I have started a startup company where I can use some of your technology. I will speak to Jagan about this in detail later and get your information. And thank you very much, Mr. Alexander.
Thank you so much. That would be really great. So thank you so much for that intro. That would be really amazing. Accessing Sri Lanka is way harder than the accessing UK Olympian Committee.
No, his name is Suresh Subramaniam. Even Mr. Someswaran knows him, right?
Okay. I know Mr. Someswaran. I will reach through him.
So we can access it, no problems. All right. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Miller, it would be when I see your presentation. I remember I interviewed you guys close enough about 3 years ago, and it's amazing what you guys have done. You can see for Internet of Things opportunities everywhere, from looking after babies to anything. There are so many ideas. Isn't that a risk for you? Because there are so many different ideas. Can you be pulled? You said that you're going to spin off Polar.
Yes.
When you spin that off, will you sell it completely, or will you still be involved?
Exactly. So the way this is the exact same design. So I believe this is eventually happen for us, and that any company is supposed to consider these options, because the ICTA spiralation, the Sri Lankan ecosystem of startup technologies based startups. So ICTA basically looking into the exact same design what we have done so far. So they had one holistic system, and they want to migrate their individual component like startups, digital health and digital governance and all into separate departments to support ecosystem. And the director was directly talking to us. We just copied that from your exact idea, because it's eventually happened for us. When we make this as a separate company, there are two things happen. We get strategic partners for that particular segment alone. So for an example, we onboarded Keells Super with 3,600 farmers, and Mr. Charita Subasinghe, the president of Keells, become our advisory board member. And along with it, we focus on the microfinance support for the farmers, smallholder ecosystem. Mr. Bernard Chinaya joined. So if we present as SenzMate, there are various things internally, so they can't focus on the particular product line, and it needs separate execution. So making spin-off, which allow us to even exit the company without any hustles at all, and it's gives support for another invention. Working on different verticals gives us an opportunity to explore what would be our next progress and where we want to put our more investment in terms of technically and financial aspect. But we made that, as you rightly said, the focus might be scattered. So that's why we've made it a separate product line called AIoT Lab. If you go through our website, I will share that. AIoT Lab, it's a complete lab. Its purpose is continuously doing R&D. And that's what we do. So any new product comes through that. Whenever it has a business perspective and business execution requirement, we take more consideration, put a CEO there and run that as a separate environment. And for Polar, the next spin-off what we are planning on, The product manager, Matanki Satyamurthy, she working on that product for more than 5 years. She know in and out. We train her from the internship itself. So she was starting that product from an internship. Now she handled the entire product. She know in and out of technology. She's a business development person. And that's the specialty of SenzMate. We grew our engineers, and we all our culture, right? I explained about the culture on that day. So we trained them to take responsibility of it. And now we believe she's capable of handling that. Because more than me or Jay or Jayantan, she have more connection on the supply chain, retail, and the pharmaceutical environment in terms of the connection perspective and the network perspective, because she was in the domain for a long time. So now we think that she can handle. We give stake, we make our employees our CEOs, and they will own the company and they run it. So that's how its expansion happens. It takes 4 or 5 years to make it as a separate company.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, my objective is to make the North and Jaffna the centre of excellence. And that is very hard. And there are many people here invested in the North, and getting the people to work together with focus and create a visibility, a positive visibility, is a huge task, which you guys seem to be achieving. And I would love to see is if SenzMate can make the North the IoT center of Sri Lanka and of Asia, because this is a well-defined sector, IoT, that the North can own. And I was so happy when I bumped into you a few weeks ago at HAT on Stanley Road. Well, I can't remember why I was there. I was there to meet somebody else. I bumped into you, and I saw the team that you're building there. When I first met you in Crescat, and you'd moved the whole of SenzMate down to Colombo, and I was complaining to you. I'm so happy that you moved it back to Jaffna, or not all of it, but a big chunk of it. If you could make it one of your objectives, Jaffna into an IoT hub, and if you have spin-offs, so that independent companies can start their own IoT opportunities. That would be my dream. That would be what I would love to see. And I hope that when you spin off, you should put it in the small print. They have to have their representative.
Definitely.
They don't know.
That's the best part. We own 3 CTOs and 3 CEOs at the moment, all working together. All are coming from the same place, and people find me as a person who been in Colombo and Jaffna. Someone talked me to as a Jaffna person. Someone talked me as a Sri Lankan Colombo person. And my CTO, it's a 100% Jaffna guy. He loved to stay in Jaffna and work. So for SenzAgro part of it, SenzMate, John loved to be in Jaffna. He always wired. He always in Jaffna. So it's not a problem for us to keep the team in Colombo at the moment. So when we met in 2018, 17, that period, so we were so much strangled with this manufacturing process. They're supposed to have a local presence in Colombo, where the import from China for our manufacturing, and the import happens to Colombo. And it's very complicated to ship there to Jaffna and do the assembly, taking back to Colombo to distribution, because our focus was more in terms of hardware at that time. Now we have enough hardware, and that entire manufacturing process was automated. Now it's all about utilizing the data. Data can be utilized from anywhere. So we thought COVID hit, and we used this as an opportunity. As I explained, before COVID, 2019 end, we were like 24 engineers. Now post-COVID, we are 88 engineers. So setting up the facility at home, so that allow us to expand very, very fast. People allow to sit at Jaffna and start to join us. So and we are rapidly growing. So that's the best sign to make working from home has worked for us.
There are 2 hands up. So Kurt, you can ask.
Yeah. Just as at the outset, you mentioned that the hardware is manufactured in Sri Lanka, the sensors.
No, actually, sir, we don't have a manufacturing facility in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka don't have the mass manufacturing facility at all. So there is no silicon manufacturers or PCB builders in Sri Lanka. There are prototype stage builders for what we call the industrial zone of Sri Lanka. In Katunayaka, that's a small facility. But for mass scale manufacturing and all, definitely we need to depend on India and China. Actually, for IoT lab, for the people who want to build their idea to commercialization, we enable the entire chain, including our manufacturing partners, we introducing to them from China and India. So that's the part. So the entire design work, entire solid works of the PCB design, everything, enclosure design, everything happens in Sri Lanka. Our designers do. Only the baking, that means the printing of the PCB is happening in China because they have the resources. We bring it back to Sri Lanka, do the assembly, update the for all the intelligence like firmware and the piecing assembly, everything happens in Sri Lanka, and we ship it out from Sri Lanka.
Because
So
you are
only
using,
manufacturing happens.
you're using so many different sensors, right? From what
Yes.
you're telling me, is so many different sensors.
Yes, we've already working with at least 80 to 90 different sensors so far. Sensors for your body, sensors for vehicles, sensors for farms, crops, weather, sensors for below the ocean. We have a fantastic product with the Sri Lankan Navy we work with for understanding the coral reef life cycle. So understanding pH, temperature fluctuations in different levels of depth around the ocean. So that we work with almost every single ecosystem from below the sea, above the weather conditions and so.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Uh,
Safi,
Will,
sorry, who's that? So Safi's got his hand up. You also have.
sure. After, I mean, I'm Janet after Satya.
Okay.
Okay,
I have two questions. One is in Sri Lanka, I'm involved with the business where we maintain and monitor a large industrial air conditioners.
Okay.
So we are basically looking a lot on preventive maintenance at the moment.
Right.
Have you got a product already available?
Yes, for 8 years. Yes.
You have. In terms of not only the temperature and the CO2 levels, but much more further so that we can look at the performance of the equipment and the viscosity of the oils and stuff like that. Do you have an existing?
So we basically manufacture. That's what Mr. Crete also requests. So there's no dependency in terms of sensor. So whenever, because we manufacture the node which communicating with sensor. So the firmware we built to communicate with any third-party sensors also. So we have our own soil sensors and so on. But the majority of sensors are industrial standard third-party sensors. We connect with our node and the intelligent part built on our site. So we have 100% customization because we own the gateway of it, the node of the sensor communication. So any sensors we can work. It could be viscosity or density or anything can be integrated. If there's a sensor on the market.
All right. The next question is, we have another business in Australia where we're involved. We do precision cooling.
Okay.
And we are using IoT.
Sensors, yeah.
And how do we collaborate for further development? We're always looking at developments and stuff like that. So are you the contact point for both?
Yes, I'm the contact point. So you can definitely contact me anytime.
Okay,
So,
okay. On both matters, I'll shoot because one of our Australian rep is in Colombo next month.
Okay.
So do you have a meeting point? You have an office in Colombo, don't you?
Yes, in Bamalapitia. We have it in Colombo 4.
Okay, fine. So, all right, I'll connect anyway. I'll Jagan, will you share Miller's email on the end of the program? Or?
I will.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Hi, Miller. Quickly, we are taking long time. A lot of time. Thank you so much. This is a very inspiring, journey you have, and I'm really proud of you guys. Like you have taken our like technical knowledge to an international level, and you have really set a new path and a new area for the future generation. This is a fantastic thing. I mean, I'm really proud of you guys, what you guys have done. And one of my question is, one thing is, Miller, how are you handling the, like you're collecting a lot of data, like, you know, the processing of data, back-end processing. Do you normally do it locally in different places, or like, how do you handle that?
Thank you. It's a fantastic question, Mr. Nan, because for IoT, that's the important part. So we are having different mechanisms to process. So if it's a factory-based environment, we one of the first companies in Sri Lanka to use edge computing, local processing through our own gate. We use Intel NCUs, which do a local processing and stream only the imported information that is useful for keeping stored in the cloud. Some of them directly stored to the cloud, the basic data. And some of them happens in the micro level device itself, the standalone devices which is monitoring, do the processing and stream. So, but have a complete process detail for years of working around, because it's all stored in the cloud end of the day.
And the second quick question is, like, have you handled anything with EC?
Sorry, sir?
Do you have any electrical conductivity sense? Like, you know, I have a product, I have to measure electrical conductivity.
Electroconductivity, I'm not sure whether I'm doing the proper pronunciation of it. Electroconductivity, what we working on for the soil-based fertility measurement, the iron value measurement in hydroponic and in the soil farming, we measure the microcement.
Okay. So that's the one I'm talking about, EC measurement. So thank you. I'll contact you because I need to measure some of that in my product. So
please, definitely.
So, thank you, and keep it up. Like, you know, like, good luck and keep it up.
Who handles your patent registrations?
So could you say that again, Anand?
Okay, so Miller, thank you for a fantastic presentation. Some aspects of your presentation seems to be overlapping with a lot of things that we learned from Rajendra Tyagaraja is doing, particularly in the industry, insurance industry. It would be nice for you to maybe get Jahan to connect you with Tiana, because he made a presentation to me and Pavan to try and tap in on the international insurance industry, particularly with the European Union for vehicle registrations and the motor industry. And we were beginning to talk to a guy called David Bogue. So, you know, it seems like you guys are stealing a march on this. And it would be good if Jahan connects you up so that, you know, it's not, we don't tap for two different people competing for the Sri Lankan sector. My heart lies in Jaffna. I would rather you win the business. So
I will talk to Tia uncle also, because he's a good well-wisher of us. So he asked me to collaborate if there's anything with his company. So because I think I know the CEO, Gihan. He introduced me to Gihan also. So he was a good well-wisher for a long time. I will also have a chat and see Mr. Anand.
Anybody? Can I?
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost you. So, sorry, I lost you.
Yeah, so definitely I will check with Mr. Tiaga. I knew him for a while. He's a good well-wisher of us. Let me have a chat and see. Thank you.
Yeah.
He called me like 2 weeks back also from Canada. He was presenting on a forum and he got from me. Yeah.
So it'll be good because, you know, there's so much synergy so that, you know, it will be a ways to compete against each other. So work together. Yeah.
It's quite likely Thea is already talking about the SenzAgro technology. I know Thea keeps a close eye on these other things that are going on.
Nice.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I have one more.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Who handles, or how the patent registrations are handled for your companies or for your clients?
Okay, so Patent registration, we don't invest so far on the IP registration because it's just different expenses for now. So because of the financial constraint, we didn't do that for a while. But we know there are plenty of protectable, even for technology-wise, in terms of software and the hardware-wise. Especially on the SenzAgro side of it, there are multiple things we are looking forward to patent it, but we don't have a representative or initiation we took in terms of making any IPs on utility or in design patents so far. That would, if it would be really great if you can help out on that, and we are considering taking forward, because for last 3 years financially we pretty much stable and cash positive and profitable. So now we taking consider on those aspects.
I know a guy in the States, young Tamil lawyer, patent lawyer.
Okay.
So I spoke with him. He was able to kind of help us on certain things. So I can connect him with you.
Please, that would be really great, because there are plenty of utility patents we can apply for.
Okay, so if there are no more urgent questions, I will circulate Miller's contact details and you can speak to him directly.
Please.
So
And I have
the next,
contacts in chat also, Jahan.
sorry, say it again, Miller.
I have already placed my contact details in the chat.
In the chat, yeah, that's good. Because other people watch the recording of this, so I will attach that for those other people.
Please.
Okay. So the next thing that I want to do, and I'm going to cut it short, is to look at, the next thing I was going to do, I was trying, well, I'm going to cut it short. So the next thing I was going to do was look at the last, or the first, in fact, Jaffna Executive Committee talked about identifying staff for our website. Well, what I'm going to do is send out an email to the members of the club. What we're trying to do is find a suitable person who can manage that website. And we've agreed a budget, but I will send out a notice about that quite soon. So unless there's any other business, as we had quite a long session with SenzMate.
Jagan, can I ask a brief question from Mr. Miller, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Miller, what are the future medical innovations you are working on? Would you like to share them with us briefly, please?
Sure. So definitely we're working on more with the stroke and Parkinson mostly, because they're looking for plenty of inventions on it, pretty much avoiding the fatigue. But there is a requirement we had at the moment for sleep apnea, which is completely an external measurement for people who have problems while sleeping. It's a huge procedure to measure whether you have sleep apnea or not. But 1/8 of this world has sleep apnea. People has problems while sleeping. So there's like it's called brain computing. It's basically understanding your brain waves, how deep we are getting into sleep and what time period, how long you are sleeping deep. So this is a research, because we collaborate with a research institute from UK, especially for the medical part of it. On they continuously giving different use cases like this. So mostly on Parkinson, stroke, and sleep apnea, always on external sensor devices what we're working on.
So basically, Mira, these kind of innovations or research and development, will they be done physically in Jaffna, or do you have any other ideas?
No, currently the R&D happens from, they help us, the corporation, the companies who are looking for the IP, they help us on identifying and testing and so on. We manufacture the devices and the sensitivity, building AI with the data sources. Sometime especially for the med product, that healthcare product, the hand washing one, we tested with 800 people, mostly from Morto University students. and men and female and so on. Mostly the R&D part happens in Colombo so far because of other facilities. We can use the laser cutting machineries and so on from Moroto University, because most of us are from Moroto. So it's $1 million machineries which you don't have access in the house. So we working closely with them. And currently we have made a partnership with Jaffna University as well. So for SenzAgro part of it, majority of our researchers, calibrations of sensors and everything happens in Jaffna University. So we closely working with universities for the deep R&D researches, but development on hardware happens in Colombo. All the software and AI development happens in Jaffna.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Arnold,
you.
you have your hand.
So, sorry, quick question, Miller. Have you heard of an organization called Medical Institute of Tamils, MIOT? A lot of
No.
eminent doctors based in UK. I think,
Okay.
it'll be great if maybe through the good offices of Jaffna Club, we help you to make a presentation to the executive board of MIOT, or give information to MIOT so that they could collaborate with you and tap up your services. There are so many doctors in various fields in UK, members of this organization. Do you
Amazing.
think it will be useful to do that?
It's a no-brainer. Definitely we love to collaborate. I never aware of the MIOT. Allowed to
Okay. After this meeting, I'll link it up with Jahan and see if we can facilitate the presentation, particularly on the medical aspects of your organization, to the MIOT, so that they have so many like-minded people. We could widen the network there.
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much, Anand. That would be really, yeah.
Okay, sure.
I
sure,
can
we'll do that.
bring this to a close.
Okay, thank you.
I've got a power cut and my battery's about to
I'm
die.
also in power cut, Jahan. Welcome to Sri Lanka.
So thank you very much, Miller. Thank you everyone for joining. I think that was a wonderful presentation. As normal, good morning, have good lunch, tea time, dinner for me, and Kurt looks ready for that.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jagan.
Pleasure to meet
Organized.
you.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.